Tangled. Rapunzel's story. Once upon a time, there was a kingdom ruled by a kind king and queen. They were happy until the queen became very sick. Right away, the king sent his guards to dig up a magical flower with healing powers. Unfortunately, the flower belonged to a wicked woman named Mother Gothel, who was furious to lose her precious flower. And so, when the king and queen had a baby, she stole the child away. Mother Gothel hid the girl, Rapunzel, in a tower. It turned out that her long hair had the same healing powers as the flower. Mother Gothel used Rapunzel's hair to stay young and told her she was her mother. Each year, on their lost daughter's birthday, the queen and king sent lanterns into the night sky. Rapunzel saw the floating lights from her tower and longed to see them up close. But Mother Gothel always said no. One day, Mother Gothel went away, and a stranger climbed into the tower. Rapunzel knocked him out with a frying pan and searched through his bag. Inside, she found a stolen crown. Curious, she tried it on. The stranger, Flynn Rider, was a thief on the run, but Rapunzel saw him as her chance to see the floating lights. She offered him a deal. If Flynn helped her, she would give him back the crown. Flynn did not want to go to the city. He was hiding from the Stabbington brothers, 2 thieves he had worked with, as well as the palace guards. But he could not say no. Reluctantly, Flynn climbed down the tower, while Rapunzel used her hair to lower herself to the ground. To Rapunzel, finally being in the outside world was like a dream come true. Rapunzel had never run through grass before, or climbed a tree, or sat in a field of flowers. Still, she felt nervous. Mother Gothel had always told her that the outside world was scary, and Mother Gothel wouldn't lie, would she? Flynn tried to scare Rapunzel into returning home. He took her to the scariest place he knew, the Snuggly Duckling, a tavern full of thugs. But when Rapunzel sang about her dream of seeing the lanterns, they all became friends. The thugs even showed Rapunzel and Flynn a secret way out of the tavern before the palace guards could catch them. As they fled, Flynn hurt his hand. Then Rapunzel put her hair around it, and his wound was healed. Flynn was amazed, so Rapunzel explained about her magical hair. "But once it's cut," she said, "it loses its power." Meanwhile, Mother Gothel had discovered that Rapunzel was gone and begun to search for her. The next morning was Rapunzel's birthday. Flynn led her to town, which was just as wonderful as the woods. She and Flynn danced and ate cake, and then they took a boat to watch the lanterns from the harbour. Twilight came, and glowing lanterns filled the sky. "I have something for you too," Rapunzel told Flynn gratefully. She handed him the crown, and Flynn knew what he had to do. Flynn went ashore and tried to give the crown to the Stabbington brothers, but the thieves knocked him out. Then they found Rapunzel and told her Flynn had traded the crown to them for her. "No!" Rapunzel cried. She tried to run away, but she couldn't. Suddenly, Mother Gothel rushed and saved Rapunzel from the thieves. Rapunzel didn't know that Mother Gothel had told the brothers to capture her. Mother Gothel took Rapunzel back to the tower, but Rapunzel kept thinking about all she had seen. Suddenly, all the pieces fell into place. I'm the lost princess, she realized at last. Instantly, Mother Gothel stopped pretending to be nice. She tied Rapunzel up, and then, when Flynn came to try to save her, she attacked him. Flynn was hurt, and Rapunzel knew she could heal him with her hair. "I'll stay with you," she promised Mother Gothel. "Just let me save him." "Swear it," said Mother Gothel, and Rapunzel did. But Flynn refused to let Mother Gothel win. As soon as Rapunzel came near him, he sliced off her hair with a shard of glass. Quickly, it turned brown, and Mother Gothel began to grow older and older before their eyes. Soon, Mother Gothel was gone, but Flynn still wasn't healed, and Rapunzel no longer had her magic hair. A single tear fell from her face. An instant later, Flynn's eyes opened. The magic in her tear had saved his life. Overjoyed, Rapunzel and Flynn went to the palace, where Rapunzel was welcomed by her real parents, the King and Queen. They were overjoyed to have their darling daughter back after so many years. And though Rapunzel's hair was no longer magical, she was still by far the most enchanting girl that Flynn Rider had ever met. The end.
Monsters Incorporated. Always time for a laugh. Beep, beep, beep. Mike Wazowski's eye popped open and he grinned. It was his favorite hour of the day. Time for work. Mike turned off his alarm clock and hopped out of bed. He didn't want to be late for his job at Monsters Incorporated. When Mike got to Monsters Incorporated, he headed straight to the locker room. His job was to go into the human world and make kids laugh, then bring the laughs back to Monstropolis to be changed into energy. But Mike wasn't just any employee. He was the top laugh collector. He earned this title by always coming up with new jokes. Mike walked down the hall to the laugh floor. A furry orange monster named George waved. "Hi, Mike. Got any plans for the weekend?" Mike just nodded. He didn't have time to chat. He was running through his routine. Mike practiced his jokes aloud. A sandal bumped into a sneaker. "Want to hang out?" the sandal asked. The sneaker raced off. "Sorry, gotta run." When the buzzer sounded, Mike stepped through his station door and into a child's bedroom closet. He tiptoed to the bed. A little boy lay sound asleep. "Guess he had a busy day," Mike said. "I'll have to crack up somebody else tonight." A new door slid down, and Mike stepped through it. "You've got to be kidding," he whispered. "The girl in this bedroom was asleep too." Mike returned to the laugh floor and tried another door, then another, but all the children were asleep. "What a disaster," Mike grumbled. "I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm calling it quits for tonight." Mike found his friends and told them what happened. "That's funny," said George. "I didn't have any problems tonight. It was one of my best nights ever," said another monster named Charlie. Mike's best friend, Sully, patted his arm. "I'm sure tomorrow will be better. Why don't you come have dinner with us?" But Mike shook his head. "I need twice as many laughs tomorrow. Gotta write new jokes," he said. When Mike got home, his girlfriend Celia called. "How was work?" she asked. "Terrible," Mike groaned. "Don't worry," Celia told him. "The laughs will come." "So, do you want to go to a movie on Saturday?" Celia asked Mike. "I don't know. Can I tell you tomorrow?" he said. Then he hung up and wrote 8 new jokes before he finally went to bed. The next night, Mike couldn't wait to capture some laughs. What did the ghost serve at his birthday party? Ice cream, he joked, warming up. But each time Mike stepped through a closet door, he found a sleeping child again. What's the matter, Mike? George asked. You look upset. Want to grab a bite? Not now, Mike grumbled. Everything okay, Mike? Sully asked. No, everything is terrible, Mike said. Suddenly, Mike noticed Sully was grinning, and the other monsters were too. Even Celia's hair snakes were smiling. Maybe you should relax, Sully suggested with a wink. What do you know about this? Mike asked suspiciously. We got you, George and Charlie exclaimed and high-fived. Got me? Said Mike. The guys thought we should help you lighten up a bit, Sully explained. When was the last time you went out to lunch? Or stopped to chat? Mike started to explain. Then he realized his friends were right. He had been trying so hard to collect laughs that he'd forgotten to have some of his own. He grinned. Okay, how'd you do it? He asked. When you weren't home, I snuck into your house and changed your clock, Charlie said. That's why the kids were all asleep when you walked into their rooms. I kept their secret, Celia confessed. I thought the king of laughs could use a good laugh too. Slowly, a wide smile stretched across Mike's face. Then he started to laugh. I have to admit it, you guys really had me going, he chuckled. Sully cracked up too. This time, Mike, the joke was on you. The end. Toy Story, Starry Night. Guess what? Bonnie said to her toys one afternoon. We're doing something special tonight. The toys were arranged on top of Bonnie's bed. They couldn't wait to find out what the something special was. We're going on an adventure, Bonnie said, clapping her hands. Though they didn't make a peep, the toys all wondered what kind of adventure was in store. We're ready to go, said Bonnie as she gathered her toys in a big tote bag. First, she picked up the toys her new friend Andy had given her, Woody the Cowboy, Buzz Lightyear, Slinky Dog, and all their pals. Next, she collected her beloved old toys, Buttercup the Unicorn, Trixie the Triceratops, a hedgehog called Mr. Pricklepants, and a rag doll named Dolly. We're going to have so much fun, Bonnie told them excitedly. When Bonnie ran off to find a flashlight, the toys came to life. I hope there won't be any scary animals, Rex the dinosaur whispered. Maybe we're going to explore the attic, Trixie guessed. Before the friends could finish guessing, Bonnie burst in with a big smile. We're camping out, she announced as she scooped up the bag with all her favorite toys. Moments later, they were in a tent in Bonnie's very own backyard. Here we are, Bonnie said as she pulled the toys out of her bag. Rex, you sit next to Trixie. Buttercup, Woody, and Buzz, you'll be next to my sleeping bag. How about a picnic? Bonnie suggested as she passed out toy plates and food. Just then, they heard Bonnie's mom from outside the tent. Dinner time, she called. Bonnie jumped up. I've got to go eat my dinner, she said, but I'll be back soon. Left alone in the tent, the toys began to explore. This sure is comfortable, said Jessie, admiring Bonnie's puffy sleeping bag. Yes, the accommodations are quite satisfactory, Mr. Pricklepants agreed. Well, shine my spurs, Woody exclaimed, noticing an electric lantern on the ground. He turned it on, and a warm glow lit up the tent. Gather around, guys, he called out. Let's have a sing-along, Woody suggested. The cowboy began to sing Camptown Races with his hat over his heart. Jessie soon joined in, and Bullseye stomped his hooves. And when the first song was over, everyone wanted to sing some more. After a few tunes, the toys decided to head outside to explore the backyard. Mr. Potato Head opened the tent flaps. The coast is clear, he said, peering out into the dark. "Look, the stars are out," said Buttercup as soon as they got outside. Buzz smiled and pointed to a constellation. "That, my friend, is the Big Dipper. 7 stars that form a ladle shape," he told his pals. Mr. Potato Head looked up. "I just saw a shooting star," he cried. Ham looked up too. "I think that was a firefly," he replied. "I'm gonna explore the yard," Jessie shouted, hopping on Bullseye's back. "Who wants to play freeze tag?" Trixie asked the other toys. But before they could even answer, she tapped Rex with her horn. "Tag, you're frozen," she called. The rest of the toys grinned and started to run as Trixie chased after them as fast as she could. "Hey," Rex called out, still frozen. "Somebody, tag me? Anybody?" Soon, the toys were tired and decided to go back into the tent. "How about a theatrical shadow puppet production?" suggested Mr. Pricklepants. "Great idea," said Woody. The toys used Bonnie's flashlight to make shadow puppets on the tent wall. First, Buzz made an airplane with his wings. Then, Mr. Pricklepants made an elephant by holding out his arm. Rex peeked outside the tent window. "Gee, it sure got dark fast," he said. But before he knew it, Dolly made a pair of bunny ears behind his head, and everyone laughed, even Rex. "Every sleepover needs a scary story," said Mr. Potato Head, clicking off the light. "Once, there was a little toy that got lost in the forest. The very dark forest," he began. Rex started to shiver. "Just like now," he said. Suddenly, there were footsteps, Mr. Potato Head continued. Just then, the toys heard footsteps outside the tent. "Like now?" Jessie gasped. "A monster was coming," Mr. Potato Head went on. "Ah!" Rex shrieked as a huge shadow loomed over the tent. The toys flopped over and all went still. The tent flap opened wide. "I'm back!" It was Bonnie. She set the toys outside around the lantern. "It wouldn't be the best campout ever if we didn't toast marshmallows," she announced. The toys didn't say a word, but they couldn't have agreed more. And Rex was especially glad that there wasn't a real monster after all. The end.